I just want to do a real quick recap of the characters in the parable from Luke. There were two main characters, the Pharisees and the tax collector. And the Pharisee had offered a prayer of thanksgiving. And the prayer of thanksgiving was because he was able to tithe a tenth of everything he acquired, and he also was able to fast twice a week. He was really grateful, and the role of the Pharisee was a good one. The role of the Pharisee was to bring the community together and to draw closer to God. So all of the things that they did the purpose was to help the community. The other character in the story, the tax collector didn't have a name, but we know what his role was. His role was to collect the taxes. And he had offered a prayer of forgiveness, a prayer of mercy, because of the harm he was causing the community. He was a tax collector who worked on the behalf of the oppressor, the Roman government. And so they offered these two different prayers. Neither one of these people were all bad or all good, just like us. Neither all bad nor all good. We're all a mixture of both. The focus, and the reason why I tell you about these characters is because the focus of the story today is also on a tax collector, but not just any tax collector. This guy is the boss of the other guy, of last week's tax collector. He is the chief and the head of the tax collecting, and he has a name. And that's significant. When you get a name in the Bible, it's significant. And his name is Zacchaeus. Today, salvation has come to this house. What was it? What happened today that brought deliverance? Well, the people in the crowd that had gathered to see Jesus were grumbling, which I can understand why. Jesus was chatting it up with the head of the Department of Corruption and Abuse of those living in poverty. And then, in a totally unexpected twist, by the end of the day, this tax collector was redistributing his wealth and seeking to repair some of the damage that he had caused the community. From whatever kind of stinking thinking had allowed him to be in such a cruel relationship to his neighbors, he was delivered. He was delivered. Now, one of the things that stands out to me in this whole encounter is the movement towards one another. Here is a man of low stature. He enters the crowd of Jesus' followers. Now, there's a couple of interpretations for low stature. And one of them that you're the most familiar with, because you know that song, Zacchaeus was a wee man, is that he was so short, and the crowd was large, and he had to climb up a sycamore tree so he could see. But I'd like to say that low stature means also a person of a low reputation. He had a bad reputation, and rightfully so. He was taking advantage of the poor. He would not have been welcome in that crowd of people at all. So I suggest that maybe he wanted to see Jesus so badly he was willing to come around the crowd, go around them, climb up a tree so the crowd wouldn't see him. He may not have even thought that Jesus would see him, but he climbed up. So Zacchaeus was moving towards Jesus, and Jesus moves towards Zacchaeus. He spotted him up in that tree, and then he invited himself to Zacchaeus' house. Have you ever tried to push a rope? Doesn't work, does it? Have you ever tried to change someone's attitude or behavior? It's kind of like pushing a rope, isn't it? If the person isn't moving towards you with an attitude of change and acceptance, hasn't changed their mindset, you can push and try to change as if you're pushing a rope. encounter, encountering Jesus and being changed by the encounter, should have material effects on our life. Conversion is about restoring a right relationship. Zacchaeus has had a relationship to others that meant their suffering, his gain, his personal gain, and gain for the whole empire. He has done wrong by people, maybe feeling justified the whole time. Maybe he was just a rule follower. You know, even though I think the law is unjust or something is unjust, this is how the system works. I've got to follow the rules. Perhaps he felt more deserving, and therefore he could steal from others because he deserved it more. To be saved, to have salvation, is to be restored in some way. And we cannot be restored alone. Restoration, salvation, conversion, deliverance, these are all social practices. Because we never belong only just to ourselves. But instead, we're part of this web of creation that God has created. That's why we celebrate the saints, the people that have gone before us. They're part of this whole communion of saints. Perhaps Zacchaeus has been through a lot in his young life, and he felt he had earned the right to take back his life no matter what. Whatever ways he justified his actions, he could not do so anymore after meeting Jesus. Something within him shifted too much for him to continue in the same way, the same relational way with the community. We cannot become whole. We cannot welcome salvation while continuing to knowingly profit on the pain of our neighbors. Knowingly. Something in that encounter with Jesus changed the way Zacchaeus saw the world, changed his worldview. He could now see people. He could see the people. He could see them as human beings, people in need, where only before he could only see people as something that he could gain something from. It was all about himself, people that he could fleece. Is that not one of the most dangerous things Jesus does to our eyes? He changes how we see people. When we see people, as people, God, children of God, the labels don't work anymore. Poor, rich, Democrat, Republican, white, black, Hispanic. Now we see people who are as needy and as loved by God as we are. Now we see real people with real needs. We see glimpses of this when a disaster occurs, when you show the pictures of the flooding in Iowa, and the devastation from the hurricane. Whenever there's a plane that falls from the sky, or there are terrible fires on the West Coast, people rally to support their neighbors and strangers without concern for their social status or their skin color or any other status. It is to see them with the eyes of Jesus. Salvation, wholeness, restoration, deliverance comes to Zacchaeus' house, and he is forever changed from a taker to a giver. This man has made his living from taking from others, and suddenly, after one meal, just one meal with Jesus, he is giving away his money like he's the United Way of Jericho. As a pastor, I've served in lots of different places, lots of different kinds of community, but I've observed it over and time again. When Jesus takes up residence in a life, we become more generous. Somehow, we loosen our fear and we loosen our grips on our wallet, on our pocketbooks, and our credit card, and giving becomes an opportunity, not just a requirement.